Hey guys, Ben here, and welcome back to the DCTV show, episode 67. Today we're going to be talking about lots of stuff. We've got obviously the Flash. I'm sorry for that. That was just a stream playing out loud. The Flash was on this week, and that's obviously the big topic. But there was also like a bunch of interviews that came out, and also just earlier today, I watched Supergirl's season 6 Blu-ray that came out. I want to discuss it a little bit because I'm sure some of you guys are interested about what's on here and if it's like worth it to buy. I just got it to see the deleted scenes mainly and to see the farewell kind of conversation. I have some videos out, in the next week or so about this. So I will talk about this because I think it's pretty cool and it is the final season, so I think it's warranted to buy it like physically. All right, but yeah, if you do go on to enjoy this and you want to support the channel and you want to have your questions popped up on the screen like this, like Nathan right here, over here. All you need to do is send in super chats. Now, how do you send in super chats? You can send in super chats by clicking the $ underneath the chat, and you'll be able to send in a question. It can be to do with anything. It doesn't have to be exactly to do with what I'm talking about, but your question will be answered straight away. We'll pop it up on the screen and we'll go into it. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into today's topics with everyone joining in right now. So yeah, like this week's Flash obviously was, I wouldn't say it's the best episode. So let me know your thoughts in the chat. What did you guys think of the Flash this week? Because for me, I'm not sure. Like, it's a gold face episode. It's very goofy. It's very silly. I didn't have much expectations going into it, and I don't think it exceeded my expectations in any kind of way. It was just like exactly what I kind of expected. Plus, you had the Marcus and Caitlin thing and Frost and Caitlin. That is a different kind of dynamic that mm, we're not used to that always. Like, yeah, relationship stuff happens on the show, but that isn't always the case that we have like such drama between like Frost and Caitlin. I don't think, yeah, we've seen it a couple of times recently, but we haven't like seen so much of that. So that was something that I think a lot of people didn't like as much in this episode. But also, Cal was right in the chat. Cal says, Daddy was back. Literally, in my notes, I just said, Daddy likes the metal, aka Goldface is back, and he is back in this episode. Sadly enough, I know a lot of people like him because he's like very memeable, and yeah, people kind of just enjoy that, and I understand it, but at the same time, like that character, just like. It's just the way that he's written. He's so goofy. He's so silly, and yeah, it's like funny at times when he's like talking to his accomplice, like, you're like kind of illiterate, and he's making all these like jokes about Moby Dick and stuff like that. And Aminat Black comes on the phone, calls him, and is like, and he's like, yeah, well, have you been taking care of your diet? Yeah, what have I told you about the bangers and mash for breakfast? And yeah, just stuff like that. That's just crazy, and I can't believe it's actually happened on the show, and it continues to happen. It's just kind of crazy to me. But yeah, so we got lots of stuff to talk about in this stream, especially to do with the Flash. But yeah, please be sure to just start sending in your questions, whether it's in the normal chat or also on on super chats. Okay. I'm just changing one thing on the live stream. Okay. We are good. All right. Um, Yeah, there's I don't think many people are joining right now. Maybe everyone's busy. But also I wanted to mention to you guys I might be changing the day of the live stream. If I change it to any day, I think it's going to end up being Wednesday. Um it just seems that Thursdays have been pretty busy recently, and I also don't think that many people have been joining on Thursdays recently. Like, I know I haven't had a guest on the show in a while, but I think like schedulings just haven't kind of worked out right at this moment. However, I appreciate all of you guys who have been tuning in for the last couple of weeks. Obviously, there is lots of stuff going on in the world, and maybe people are just, too busy. But yeah, I really do appreciate you guys who come and stream, support the channel, and, stick around and interact with me. But yeah, so Cal Roswell has sent in the first super chat. Thank you very much, Cal. Cal says, he doesn't say anything, but he sends in a 99-cent super chat. Thank you very much. I really appreciate your support, Cal. You are awesome. Okay, so let's talk about The Flash. So The Flash just had its new episode, which just came out. And this episode, like I mentioned, I think it was like decent. It was pretty good. However, I wouldn't say it's like anything outstanding. Like, it's just a kind of throwaway episode because, after all, it is what Eric Wallace calls an interlude episode. It's something to bridge the gap, and it seems with these interlude episodes, they're very much so going for something kind of weird or goofy, maybe stuff that they don't want to necessarily do like later in the season when you get fully into like the main story or something like that. So I think that is their kind of excuse to kind of go a bit crazy sometimes. Um, so I understand that they want that kind of free range, but at the same time, it does feel a bit weird. I don't know if you guys agree with me. Let me know in the chat. Do you think the interlude episodes are good, or do you think it's just not such a good idea? I think it kind of breaks up the pace of the season a bit. Yeah, Cal, you are right. The hotness is coming back next week. Like, I don't know what's up with this streak, but this week we had Daddy back, Goldface back. The week before we had the Royal Flush Gang, and then we have the hotness back next week. You guys know the hotness, surely, right? From Iris's episode, he's like, I forgot what was his famous line in that episode that everyone quotes. It's just like the most memeable villains all 3 episodes in a row. Like, it's incredible. They couldn't have planned it better. But I think next week is a bit more involved with like Team Flash rather than it being a bit more separate. Because this week, if you actually look at the Flash's episode, it's more of like, okay, we have the Kramer and Barry stuff. Oh yeah, give me my money. That was his like famous quote, the hotness. But yeah, so we had Kramer and Barry, and they were stuck in CCPD with Goldface and his accomplice. I don't know his name, I forgot. But at the same time, you had Iris at the end of the episode with Joe briefly, and then the other main storyline in the episode was Caitlin, Marcus, Frost, and Mark. And we'll talk about that later. We're going to talk about Daddy Likes the Metal first. And talk about all of that afterwards. But my point is, there is the 2 different storylines plus Iris at the end that kind of, they feel quite separate because they aren't interlinked the stories at all. Like, nothing that happened with Frost and Caitlin linked with Barry and Kramer. Sorry, so it definitely didn't flow like a normal have. This big villain, and the whole team tries to take down the villain. But in this case, Goldface was taken on by solely Kramer and Barry, and obviously the Flash as well. But we all know the Flash is Barry. So sorry for the spoilers there. But yeah, we have another super chat from Clan Rocks. Thank you very much, Clan Rocks, for supporting the channel as usual. I really appreciate you. Okay, so Clan Rocks sends in a 449 super chat, and he says, Why was the Flash movie delayed again? Was it all to do with the production problems / CGI or lack of cast or lack of crew, etc. from last year? So the explanation is, in regards to the Flash movie being delayed, is definitely to do with um, I think it was mentioned actually by James Wan. Obviously, James Wan does the Aquaman films. He's just made Aquaman 2 as well. And his explanation for why Aquaman was delayed was because of VFX. So I presume with that being delayed and the Flash being so VFX heavy, probably the Flash is going to be given more time to finish that VFX. And I believe that is why they are delaying it. And that's why something like Shazam, which is less VFX heavy, is coming forward to this year, where it was supposed to actually premiere next year. So it kind of all makes sense because we have the two big kind of CGI fest films, that being Aquaman and The Flash, coming out at a later date, so they have more time. And they've cited, COVID restrictions and things like that for basically their workflows being delayed because they have to like upload all the files, and maybe not everyone is available. Like, it's probably easier to work in person when you're doing CGI. So I think it is some production problems as well. So thank you so much for the super chat, Clan Rocks. You are awesome, and I really appreciate you supporting the channel like that. Andy is here. Welcome, Andy. Obi-Wan style, he says hello there. What does he do? He's like, I am not a Jedi. Anyway, welcome, Andy. Thanks for tuning in. All right. Hi, Sarah. Welcome to the live stream. So without further ado, let's go back into the Flash and talk more Goldface and talk more Barry and Kramer and what happened with them in this episode before we move on to anything else. So once again, just a reminder, you can send in super chat questions like Clan Rocks and like Cal if you want to support the channel and also have your question featured on the stream, and I'll answer it straight away. So if you have anything burning in the back of your mind, now it's time to send it in. Where is Gary? I have no idea, Cal. I don't know where Gary is. Gary hasn't been on a stream for like 3 or 4 weeks, I think. Like, it's been like a month. So Gary is currently MIA. Maybe I should like message Gary. Should I message Gary? I'm sure Gary's gonna watch the stream afterwards anyway. Okay, so yeah, let's get back into the Flash. Hi Vera as well. So with the Flash, like I was saying, so Goldface is completely goofy and completely silly. This whole episode feels a little bit like a joke, and it's funny to some people, but I get it that to some other people, it's just kind of people view it as like a waste of an episode, and that's why I've seen a lot of people kind of go against the idea of these interlude episodes. I personally am like in the middle. I don't really like the idea of interlude episodes like this, but I get their purpose to break it a longer season. It makes more sense to have these interlude episodes. But I think if you have an 18 episode season and you want 3 graphic novels, which is what Eric Wallace has said, what you do obviously is up to you. It's up to Eric at the end of the day. However, having 5 episodes of Armageddon being the first what's it called, graphic novel, and then having episode 6, 7, and say 8, because I think next week is an interlude episode as well, being interludes, and then you start with episode 9, then I presume you go 10, 11, 12, 13. Yeah, you go to like episode 13, and then Eric Wallace has said he's doing 3 more interlude episodes, so you have 14, 15, 16, and then what do you have? 2 episodes left for the last graphic novel. So, well, this is what I talked about it in a video recently in the last couple of days. You can check it out. It's on the channel right now. but I'm pretty sure they're going to have more episodes this season. Nothing's been confirmed. It's just me theorizing. But due to the fact that Eric Wallace has said that the episode he directs, the episode Danielle Panabaker directed, and also the episode that Katie Lotz came in and directed were all interlude episodes, and those are ones later down the line, that leaves us up to 2 episodes or 3 episodes left before the end of the season. So I'm presuming The Flash is going to go to at least 20, but really they should actually go to 21 if they want 5 episodes. If they go to 20 episodes, that is 4 episodes for the final graphic novel. I think that's personally way too short. I would like it if they went to 22, say. Because if they went to 22, that's at least 6 episodes, and I think that is more than enough. So yeah, I mean, interludes and this whole thing is very I don't know, there's like it's kind of confusing, like, because every few months we get like interludes, and then I don't know. Anyway, I got distracted because Aravastine says no. Eric said we are having 3 interludes, episodes 6, 7, and 13. He just said that there was a 3-episode stretch of special directors, and he related it to how there is also 3 interludes. Oh. I had no idea that he meant that. It wasn't very clear in the interview he did, I think, with Entertainment Weekly, because I think even Pagey mentioned in his video that we both believed that Eric was inferring that they had 3 more interlude episodes. So yeah, I probably got that totally wrong, and I believe you, Araverse Scenes. It definitely could be that. So yeah, like, I hope I'm wrong, because I personally think less interlude episodes, the better, maybe, in my opinion. But I'm not dissing on Eric, because I think Eric does some really good stuff, and I mean, I would like to talk to him one day. I was this close to talking to him at San Diego Comic-Con 2019. Andy in the chat was actually there. That was the one time that me and Andy met. We did a Supergirl roundtable, but I was supposed to do a Flash roundtable, and I would have been able to talk to Eric Wallace, not Eric's Reloaded. But I chose to skip it and go to the panels to see everyone else. But that's, my own personal choice, and yeah. Every time Ben says interlude, I'm going to take a shot. Well, I think you'd be totally drunk by now, just saying. Andy says, am I an interlude episode, Ben? Frankly, Andy, you are an interlude episode, if I must say myself. Andy says, I remember meeting you, came up to me, and I wasn't sure first who you were, but you sounded familiar, so I had to go, you do YouTube, right? Can you do your intro for me? Yeah, I remember it. No, that was funny. No, because at that point, I don't think I posted what I looked like much, because I wasn't doing live streams at that point, and I wasn't really doing that many like reactions. But obviously, I knew you from your podcast, and I seen your photo on Twitter, and I was like, oh, that's the Flash podcast. So yeah, no, but now I think I'm a bit more recognizable to more people since I've been doing these live streams for like, well, I mean, we're on like episode 67 of the live stream, so that's 67. Well, it's about 70 weeks in a row. I've missed like 3 weeks, I think. So yeah, we've been doing it for like a long while now, which is very cool. Anyway, let's move on and let's continue with what we were saying. So Barry and Kramer, they're working together, and actually by the end of the episode, Kramer is told the Flash's identity. So the Flash saves the day, and let's just talk about that for a second, because when Barry is able to escape and he's kind of leveled up and he runs away from the explosion, he's extremely fast. He gets like a brief flight, and I guess that's kind of like the motivation, or at least his like kind of thoughts. But as soon as the Flash comes in, he sweeps Goldface and his accomplice, like totally defeats them straight away. And so Goldface is defeated so fast. And I think that just goes to show how powerful the Flash is, especially right now, being leveled up. He didn't even have any sort of like fight against Goldface. He literally just came in and like sweep them and put them on the ground. And that's pretty much it. So yeah, like that just proves how powerful he is, but it also proves that Goldface wasn't that strong. And so also Barry and Kramer, with that whole identity reveal, it turns out she actually knew Barry was the Flash. And I think she had suspicions for a while, but as she reveals later in the episode, right at the end, it's actually uh it's actually Barry gives himself away by having his collar being destroyed, because no normal person without like super speed or the power of flight could get away from an explosion that explodes like extremely fast and would almost instantly put Barry out of action, basically. So that gave it away, and then Kramer basically by the end of the episode was like, I know you're the Flash. And then Barry takes his mask off, and she's been kind of working up this kind of thing with inside of her. She wants to ask Barry, well, actually the Flash, she wants to ask the Flash for help to train her to use her powers, because she isn't sure how to use her powers, but she was basically too uncertain of her abilities, so she never actually asked the Flash, and she didn't like have a direct line. However, now she has a direct line with the Flash because she has the kind of beeper, I guess, like Superman to Lois or Superman to Jimmy Olsen. But yeah, let's move on just beyond this, because we have a super chat from Cody. Also, we got short stick fights here. Duane Davis is here. Welcome, Duane. And also Andy says, yeah, I heard you, but never seen you before. When you came up, and he was super charming, by the way. Thank you very much. I felt so bad, and that I first didn't know 100% who you are, but glad you got to meet. Yeah, no, it was cool. And I mean, I don't expect anyone to know who I am, especially at that point. So yeah, it was just cool to meet you. And next time they do a Comic-Con, I'll be there. You'll be there, and we can hang out a bit. So that's going to be cool. And I want to get your insight on the Eric Wallace stuff, because you always get these interviews and it's really cool. And I feel like every time you do one, like the whole Flash community is like, what's he saying? What's he saying? What's he saying? What's he saying in these interviews? And we all end up making videos on it. But yeah. Okay, we have Cody, who sends in a $5 super chat. Thank you very much, Cody. Cody says the interludes feel like fun comic book issues. They give you a breather between arcs. Yeah, no, that's exactly what Eric Wallace is going for. These kind of fun interludes. Yeah, take another shot, guys. Just to kind of give you that breather, and that's what I said. Like, it's true. That's exactly what he's going for. But I think we all have to understand that not everyone likes this format, just because if we look at past seasons of The Flash, from season 1 up till season 4, because season 5 was the season with blood work, if I'm right. Up to season 4, we had pretty much one villain for most of the season. There was sometimes like a switch, from like Dr. Alchemy to Savitar, or oh wait, yeah, no, I am right. I was just thinking about the seasons, and I was like confusing myself in my head. But anyway, so the interludes definitely are something new, and people are still getting used to it. I think I'm still getting used to it, and I think fundamentally the fun kind of breaks do work, because they are fun. But at the same time, when you have villains who aren't really that loved. I feel like for these interludes, maybe you should introduce like new people rather than go back to older people. I don't know, maybe like, yeah, one of the interludes you can go back to an old person, but if we can introduce some new people, that would be cool because, like, these episodes we've had the Royal Flush Gang, we've seen them before, we've seen the Hotness before, we've seen Goldface before, so why not introduce someone new, is what I'm trying to say. And when, they just randomly introduce someone new and it's cool, like, you remember when they did that episode and it was just a shade? Because it's true that in the past seasons there were what we called filler episodes. So from season 1 to 4 there were filler episodes in the middle, randomly scattered throughout the entire season, basically with no structure, that would fill the gaps between the main storylines, because obviously the Flash used to run like 20 to 23 episodes a season, and so they basically couldn't keep up all the years. So the idea of the interlude isn't actually new, but the idea that it's structured to have like 3 weeks or 2 weeks in a row that are interludes, I think it emphasizes it more that we're not with one big main story. And I think most people's big problem with this kind of breather is that it's such a long breather. Like 2 weeks is substantial and 3 weeks is substantial compared to a filler episode, which is a one off. And then you go to the next episode and maybe it's related to the main villain. And then maybe you have one more, and then you have another filler episode, and then you go back to the main villain. So it also doesn't feel as kind of, out of place, and I guess it feels, yes, a little bit less structured if you have filler episodes, but I feel like I'm just repeating myself. Sorry. Thank you very much, Cody. Cal Roswell sends in another super chat. Thank you very much, Cal. Cal's also a member of the channel. You guys can join and become members if you aren't already by clicking the join button. You guys are awesome, and we're going to be doing a members Zoom call pretty soon, so be on the lookout for that. But Cal says, do you think Kramer will join Team Flash? So that is the hint that I got this episode. I feel like with her being trained by the Flash, pardon me, that was a hiccup. I don't know where that came from. With her being trained by the Flash, it's inevitable that she's going to end up in Star Labs. And so by ending up in Star Labs, she's probably going to be introduced to the rest of Team Flash. And I think inevitably she's going to become at least like a Cecile of Team Flash, who regularly shows up, but not always like every single episode, like Caitlin or Iris or someone like that. So yeah, I feel like they're setting her up for that. I'm open to it, although right now I don't think she is the best. Like, I get it that they're trying to flip our opinion on the Kramer, because if you guys remember, Kramer last season was heavily going against Metas, and we felt a strong disdain against her because she was going after Joe as well. And obviously, we as Flash fans have very strong connections to someone like Joe. So it makes sense that we would have this kind of disdain for her. And now we're kind of moving towards a new phase where it seems that we're moving to a phase where we're supposed to like Kramer. And that is definitely a big shift. And I don't think it's going to happen instantly, but it will eventually happen. I feel like somewhere down the line. Welcome Danning to the live stream. Okay, let's move on to the next thing. And just a reminder, guys, if you have any questions, send in super chats, and your questions will be answered and popped up on the screen right here as we continue talking about the Flash. So let's talk a little bit about Barry leveling up. So this is the theme of the season. Eric Wallace has talked about it plenty of times, and this is something that we're going to continue seeing this season. And we saw a little bit of this with Barry, breaking the cuff that he had on, and then he ran away and he was able to survive. And obviously, that was like a detriment to him, revealing his identity and giving a clue to Kramer. But it was eventually going to happen. Like, she already had her to her. So I don't think it makes much of a difference. But that scene acted as a way with the flashback to show that Barry is still extremely powerful, and Barry is going to continue being powerful for the whole rest of the season. And it just proves that whoever this next villain is going to be in the next graphic novel has to be someone really strong. Eric Wallace has actually confirmed the speedster, so it's not like Reverse Flash or anything happen, but there is always the chance that someone like Reverse Flash returns later in the season, because Eric Wallace has continued to tease potential future Reverse Flash storylines, and then also Jesse L. Martin tease more Reverse Flash stuff. Now the villains are going to have to put up a big fight against Barry, because Barry is extremely powerful right now. Okay, so let's move on to the next thing. This next thing is Iris. So I'm sure you guys want to talk about this. So leave your thoughts. What the hell went on with Iris at the end of the episode? Were you expecting it at all? Like, I can't even speak. Were you expecting it at all? Did it come as a big shock to you? What was your just thought process when that happened? Because I was like, oh, it's nice. Like, yay, Iris is back, because we didn't have her in the episode. And then suddenly out of nowhere, like, Joe goes upstairs, and then another version of Joe shows up who looks different and is holding like a case file box, and we're like, Joe, you're retired, right? And so Iris is confused, her fork disappears. So we're like, okay, this is the time sickness thing. This is, actually going down, and we're going to be exploring this more. And then suddenly out of nowhere, her friggin' eyes go green, and like particles, like black kind of particles, start coming out of her eyes. And I have no idea what exactly is going on, but it's something to do with her time displacement and her time travel. I don't know if she's somehow like maybe tapping into some of the timeline changes caused by Bart and Nora. That could definitely be one of the things. We haven't actually had a proper explanation about how Iris got this time sickness, or what this time sickness exactly does. So it's a bit confusing, but we're going to get more and more answers as Eric Wallace has promised us. From like episode 9, we're going to be properly exploring that, and it's going to be wrapped up by the end of the season. Okay, so Dwan is here. He sends in a super chat, $5 super chat. Thank you so much for your support. I really appreciate you. He asks, hey buddy, I got a question. Is the Flash season 9 doesn't take over, or that slap? Can you clarify what you mean? Is the Flash season 9? Yeah, I'm not entirely sure what you exactly mean, but can you send it in the chat and I'll answer it right away, Dwan? But thanks for the super chat, and I'll be sure to answer it in a minute once you clarify what exactly you mean. But yeah, I can't wait to explore more of Iris's time sickness. That's exactly my thoughts. Cal, I think right now it's very intriguing, especially with that cliffhanger, because it's entirely mysterious and we don't know exactly what's going on with her. And I mean, there's always the chance that what we saw right at the end of the episode was this version of Joe before, and then Iris time travels basically just like out of the blue because of this time sickness, and ends up in the same spot in another point in time. And maybe that's why we have this different version of Joe, and this version of Joe thinks it's his normal Iris, but in fact, it's Iris. In fact, it's Iris from the future. So yeah, like a lot of stuff is going down to do with that. Dwayne clarifies what he's saying. I meant to say this is season 9 of The Flash. who's going to take over, or is that all that show is the last season? I'm going to. So I think what you're trying to say is season 9 of The Flash the last season, or is someone or who is going to take it over? So do you mean like if, say, Grant went away, would someone take it over as like the main Flash, or Eric Wallace? Um, yeah, I'm not entirely sure, but in regards to season 9, I think season 9 is going to be happening. We haven't had any official confirmation of the Flash being renewed because that's just not something they've done yet. I think they could wait to the CW upfronts in May to announce that. It could be the last show, the last season, and then they will take over. Yeah. No, I get what you're saying. But I don't think anyone is going to take over the show. I think the show is going to stay how it is. I think Eric Wallace is going to be the showrunner until the series ends. I think Grant's still going to be there. If Grant leaves, the show ends. No one's going to take it over from him. I don't think there's going to be any big changes, really. I think until the series ends, we're still going to go with the graphic novel format as long as we have Eric Wallace as the showrunner, because I really don't think he's going to want to change it because he seems to very much so like this format. I feel like it's probably a bit easier for them as well because they don't have to think of, oh, how can we stretch out one villain throughout the entire season, or I guess 2 villains is definitely easier to do, but having 3 is much easier, although you have a short amount of time. So that's the big kind of hindrance that they have. But yeah, so thank you, Duan, for the super chat. I really appreciate it, and hopefully I answered your question pretty good. Okay, another reminder, you can send in more super chats if you have any more questions, but for now we're going to be continuing on. I want to get your guys' opinion on Marcus and Caitlin, because this is a big storyline in this episode, and I presume it's going to continue to be a relatively big thing, especially in, like, the next however many episodes. Guys, we have a special guest. We have a special guest who is here. He is joining for the live stream. Eric is here. What's up, Eric?
Hey, what's up?
Welcome. I wasn't sure if you were going to come. Great to have you.
I was actually recording my Flash review, so I just finished, so that's why I'm jumping on here.
You mentioned on Twitter that you have to do yours on Thursdays now, right?
Yeah, so because Batwoman and the reason why my Batwoman reviews were always late on Thursdays is because I work on Wednesdays, and it's the same way with the Flash. I work on Wednesday nights, and so when the episode ends, I have to immediately go to work, and then I don't get off until like 3 a.m.
Oh my God.
And if I come home and download all my pictures, get all my video clips, get all my notes, do all of that, it takes me it's like after 4:30 in the morning before I'm done. So I have to start doing the reviews on Thursday. I just don't have a choice. This is why I hated when they moved it to Wednesdays, because it's literally the only weeknight that I work. Every other night I work is on the weekend. So I was really mad about it. I was like, if they would have moved it to Mondays or Thursdays or any other night, I could have done it and it wouldn't have been an issue. But
for me, I actually like it because I hated when the Flash and Superman and Lois were on the same night because I could never cover both of them.
I didn't like those on the same night either, and I didn't want it to do that. But I thought for sure they would like move Superman and Lois to Mondays or something, because I believe Superman and Lois is doing so good right now that you could move it to any night and it would still do really well. So I think Mondays is a good. There's nothing on Mondays anymore, so I don't know why they did Wednesdays, but.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure why they did Wednesdays, but I think right now, like, I don't think it makes much of a difference to the Flash. Have you checked the ratings recently? Like, has it
just the ones from last week? But I don't think those are good a representation of the show because the show came back on a different night, and I don't think a lot of people knew it was coming back. So I think this week will be the one to watch, the one to keep an eye on, honestly.
Yeah.
So.
But yeah, what did you think of this week's episode of The Flash? Because I talked a bit about my overall opinion, so let's get yours.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I understand if people like it. I know there's a lot of people that like these kinds of episodes where we get stories going around. And let me turn this on. Make it a little bit brighter in here. It's a little dark.
Good.
So anyway, there's people like these kinds of stories. I have issues with it because I just like last week, I don't love it and I don't hate it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have much of an opinion about what happened in the episode. Like I hated it. It was awful. Like because the episode mostly was it. So I will say this, it's very clear that this was one of those episodes where they're trying to save money because they shot inside of a building. There wasn't a lot of outdoor shots.
Very contained. Yeah.
Yeah. And there was done a lot of special effects. There was very few special effects in this episode. So I think this was one of those episodes where they're like, we need to make an episode that's going to save us money, that doesn't tie into the major stuff that's going on, except for the very end of the episode with Iris. So they wanted to do something like that. And they also wanted to use a character that a lot of people with the Joe storyline, which is what I think they were trying to do.
Yeah.
So I think this episode was them trying to sort of like turn people around and say, hey, by the way, she's not awful. Like she sent the meta bullets away. So she clearly doesn't hate metahumans anymore. But I personally don't think she's done enough to make up for what she did to Frost. That's my personal opinion. I think we need to see from her, and hopefully training with Barry will give us an opportunity for her to like amend for that. Cause I don't know how Caitlin and Frost are going to feel about that. That seems like it might be a problem for them because they were the target of her investigation. So
yeah, no, it's true. Like I was talking about that earlier. I mentioned the fact that Kramer is supposed to be, someone that we're maybe siding with now. And I mentioned what you literally just said earlier, the fact that she's not a very likable character because she was going against Joe, she was going against all the metas, which means Frost, which means Caitlin, which means Barry, all of Team Flash pretty much. So yeah, I think she has a lot of work to do in order to be like kind of on the good side of Team Flash, like they're trying to position her right now.
Yeah.
And I don't think this episode did that much for her. Like it kind of, I think the main point of this episode with Kramer was just to show that maybe she changed a little bit by not having the meta bullets there and not giving up the location and, wanting to train with Barry. And we know that's going to be a thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, like
that's the thing is I'm not saying it's a bad episode. It just, there wasn't a lot to grab onto unless you're like, okay with filler stories. And that's kind of where I am right now.
No, I feel exactly the same. Like I after the episode finished and I was like, okay, so I got my notes. Let's read through my notes again. Okay. I was like, okay, maybe the most interesting thing was the ending with Iris.
It was that wasn't maybe, that was 100% the most interesting.
100% the most interesting thing, when the entire episode basically was just like a waste of time. Okay, so I would argue it's a waste of time because of how Goldface is defeated, because Barry literally turns into the Flash, doesn't even have a fight with Goldface, and Kramer doesn't have a fight with Goldface as well. She just holds the chain or whatever.
Which, by the way, when she did that, were there no other people on his team with weapons? Was that the only
other
weapon
guy
they
had a gun, I swear.
So why would that be? Yeah. Why would that stop him?
I'm not sure. Exactly. So I just feel like the villains in this episode, especially Goldface, were totally underpowered, and he got easily swept off his feet by the Flash. So what was the point, really? Apart from proving a point with Kramer. Right.
Besides that, I thought about this. I didn't put it in my review. There's a lot of things I could nitpick, but honestly, with my review, which will be up in just a bit, I talk in detail about my opinions on the Flash and what the Flash needs to do for me personally. But one of the things that was kind of annoying for me is if Flash is fast enough to actually get away from that cuff before it exploded, When that gas was coming in the building, why didn't he do that and like push it out somewhere? Like, why did he just stand there and let the gas work on him? Or furthermore, why didn't he just run?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's just I mean, once everybody was knocked out, I feel like he could have done something because he was still awake for at least another 15 seconds after everybody else.
Yeah. Fun fact, I actually joined the episode like after that.
Yeah.
Okay, so the daylight savings changed in America, right?
And you didn't realize it?
I didn't realize it. Because it's really late when it airs here, and I was like super tired. So I went to sleep. I was like, okay, I'll wake up before 1 a.m. And then it just so happened I woke up at like past 12 a.m. and I checked and I saw people saying, I'm watching The Flash now. I'm like, oh shit. And then I literally tuned in as they woke up from the gas. So I asked some people, I was like, what happened?
Yeah.
And they were like, you didn't really miss much. What you missed was what? What was the scene with Chester and Allegra? Because I haven't seen it.
So at the very beginning, we start out with Chester at Star Labs, and he is talking about having to work through his lunch break and how he's legally allowed to take like an hour or something every 4 hours. Which, by the way, that was another
even
thing.
Employed?
Well, that's what I mean. That was one of the things where I was like, how does he even get paid? Honestly, I mean, what can anybody tell me what Star Labs produces that could actually bring in income for people? And there's nothing. Zero.
And Barry's job isn't even. I mean, CSI probably pays decent, but I don't think
not enough to pay someone
everyone.
else. Yeah. And the other thing is that since when was Star Labs anyone's job? Like, Cisco was there, but Cisco made it very clear that he wasn't getting paid, which is why ultimately when he moved to Argus, he wanted to go somewhere where he could actually make money and have a job and have a career. Yeah. Caitlin is kind of an anomaly. I don't know what she does for money, honestly. Iris has a separate job. Joe had a separate job. Everyone else had a job outside of Star Labs. So I didn't think Star Labs was employing people.
Yeah.
So for me, when I heard that, I was like, really? So anyway, he was talking about that. And then Allegra shows up with like some food from a restaurant, like Parmesan subs or something. I can't remember what it was, but she basically shows up with lunch. And then that's pretty much the end of that scene. There's a little awkwardness between them where there's that setting up the love story between the two of them and whether they're dateable or not. And then of course they find out that there's criminals in the city and they tell Barry and he runs around and grabs everybody because he's leveled up, which by the way, they said it again in this episode. And I was like, can we just stop saying that? Okay, we get it.
We even got a flashback.
Yes. So, the whole idea of like them helping him and whatnot. And then there was did you saw the scene with him live streaming and Caitlin talking to Allegra,
no, I
right?
didn't see that.
Okay. So there's another scene with them where he's live streaming like he did back before he was in Star Labs, when we first met him. And Allegra's in the back talking to Caitlin, and Caitlin walks in to talk to Allegra about something, to deal with Frost and Chilblain. And there's a joke about them being on stream together. She's like, are you live streaming? And, it's kind of a little joke or whatever. That wasn't too bad. But the reality is they were almost pointless in the episode. There really wasn't any reason to have them in the episode because
never went back to them.
No, that was the last scene with them, I believe. So, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't even see them. So, yeah, you definitely need to know. Well, yeah, I think that kind of proves the point. Like, what was the point in this whole episode, really? Okay, so let's talk a bit about Caitlin and Marcus. Like, when was he first talked about? Because I feel like I've heard this name quite a lot. And
I know we've probably heard the name before, but I don't think we've actually seen the character. I think this was the first time we ever saw this person because I don't remember him from anything. Maybe he was in a scene quickly at one point that I wasn't paying attention to, but
sure.
I don't see. There's no chemistry between the two of them.
Yeah, there's no
zero chemistry. So I don't know if this is going to be something they're going to try and take on for a long time. But yeah, there's just no chemistry between the two of them. And I think this was the first time we saw him. So
yeah, if it was forced, okay. So I think I'm nearly 100% sure what they're going for with the Caitlin and Marcus thing is obviously something to do with, Caitlin trying to move on, right? They're using Marcus as a way for Caitlin to move on and to go into her feelings. And this is leading up to Ronnie returning in the show. right?
Yes.
That's 100% what they're doing here, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so it feels like a little bit incomplete and like a bit insincere. Would you say? What's a good word to say? It's not.
What do
It's
you?
not like bad or anything, but it just feels like forced, I guess.
It feels yeah, it feels forced, or it feels generic to me. Like
Generic.
yeah, like a generic love interest that's not going to go anywhere.
Yeah, and then in the episode we had Frost and Mark. Also, can I say very creative use of names, Marcus and Mark. It sounds literally the same. Do you
Well,
think
not
they
only
did that
that,
on
but
purpose?
I forgot his name was Mark because his actual like bad guy name or whatever
Chilblain.
is Chilblain. So you would think his name would be Blaine,
Yeah.
because what other reason would you use a real name in your bad guy name? Like I don't.
Yeah.
Is
I'm
it?
not
It
sure.
did. Was he on like some video game and that was his name in the video
Yeah.
game? And so
It
he's like,
was
I'm
his
gonna make
like
that my villain
video
name.
tag. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's
It's his
weird.
YouTube channel, guys. It's his YouTube channel.
Yeah, so yeah, but Mark and Marcus, like, talk about being totally confused. I was like, the whole time they were talking, I'm like, which one are we talking about? Oh, okay, that one. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was.
Is it Mark or is it Marcus? It's literally like someone called Marcus could be nicknamed Mark.
Yeah.
So
I mean, yeah, absolutely.
it's just not very creative. I get it if they did it for a point because Caitlin and Frost are supposedly sisters. I still find that weird. I don't know if it's just me, like because
It's
I feel
because
like
I
they're
don't
the
think they
same
know any
person.
way to talk about it otherwise. But yeah, it's weird.
Because we've been used to them for so long being the same person, but then now they're separate, and I've accepted that they're separate.
His name is Mark Blaine. That's his last name. I don't think I've ever heard anybody with the last name Blaine.
Mark Blaine.
That makes it even worse.
Yeah.
It's like
I
Mark
don't know.
Twain or something. It's weird.
But what do you make of the Frost storyline and the tensions between her and Caitlin?
So okay, so the minute they were doing karaoke, I was like, are we stealing something from Supergirl? Because that's what I thought when I saw that scene. I'm like,
Yeah.
this is very Supergirl to me.
Mm.
And I was like, I'll be honest, I don't have an issue with it. It just felt unnecessary. Like all of that felt unnecessary, because I get it. She's going to rekindle her flame with Ronnie.
Yeah.
But did we need this? Did we need this? Because actually it sort of makes Frost seem like an idiot, sort of like, because she's and also it didn't look good on Caitlin, because Caitlin was getting super like jealous of Frost's relationship with Chilblain
in front of Marcus.
Yeah. On their first date out somewhere.
Yeah.
I don't really understand. Again, the writing on this was very paint by numbers. There was nothing in this episode that I will say, okay, not related to the Frost and Caitlin stuff. The one thing that I liked was the fact that the primary focus was on Barry being smart and figuring a way out of this as the Flash. That was the best part of the episode, because getting an opportunity to see him do that, we don't get it very often. So if you're going to give us interlude episodes, that is the kind of stuff I want to see. That is what I tune in for, not for all the soap opera stuff and the outdated jokes like "Bye Felicia" that nobody literally says anymore. Like,
yeah. I swear there was so many silly, like, stupid jokes in the episode. I died. I physically died. What? Have a guess which moment I died at. What's related to like me?
Was it Amunet related?
Yeah.
When he was talking to her on the phone with Barry in the office. Yeah, I figured so.
And then just like out of nowhere, like he's just like talking to Amunet. Okay, that's fine. But then he's like he says something totally stupid. He says like, what
bangers
about
and mash?
Diet? Oh, bangers and mash. Bangers and mash for breakfast. Come on.
We were watching that, and I was like, are they just throwing out like references to like London or something? I didn't understand.
Honestly. Oh, we have. Hello? That's Paige.
Emmy Whammy, is that you? Is that you, Emmy Whammy?
Yeah, I just heard something in the background. I thought it was like Paige watching his own video.
Oh God.
No, I do that when I go to sleep.
Okay, yeah,
It's why it's soothing. It's like white noise.
a little bit creepy. Not gonna lie.
We got hipster Eric in the chat today.
I know, isn't
We
it?
got hipster Eric. Is that a beanie or what?
Yeah.
We've walked into Portland.
Oh, nice.
Welcome to Portland. Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, we're talking about the Flash. What did you think of last night's episode, Paigey?
He's gonna say he loved it. Watch.
He's got Daddy in his thumbnail in his picture, so
I don't know why he's there. Maybe it's because this computer I'm on. I'm on my like little laptop thing. It's not logged in. That's a bit weird. Anyway, what do I think of the episode? I thought it was fine. I didn't go in expecting much, and it was the one thing I was really happy they did, and there was the one thing I wanted from the episode is that they developed Barry and Kramer as like a partnership in CCPD. That was like the one thing I was like, if there's one thing the episode needs to do that's relevant going forward, because everything outside of that was pretty much filler.
yeah.
If there's one thing that's relevant going forward, it's that, and I think they did it really well for the most part. I did question like Kramer maybe potentially using the other CCPD officers as like collateral, but because you never know. But at the same time, she was trying to keep them alive at the same time. It was like a weird one. They could have all died, but also she was keeping them alive at the same time. And yeah, of course, Daddy loves the metal. Daddy likes the metal. Daddy adores the metal. It was for fans of Keith, it was a big episode because I thought he was actually very good in the episode as well. I think that might have been a comparison to the Caitlin Frost stuff, which was quite bad.
Yeah.
1, maybe 2 out of 10.
Yeah, like
I will say though the green screen with Caitlin and Frost was really well done. I mean, I didn't mention that in my review. But
yeah, like
really
I'm still confused how exactly they do it, but it looks good. Always.
Stunt doubles and green screens, I guess.
Yeah, it definitely doesn't look janky at all. Like I didn't even notice. But yeah, like the Caitlyn stuff, I feel like it did actually weigh the episode down a lot. And yeah, I mean, it all depends if you like, you know, the jokes with Goldface and Aminette or whatever. I don't know. I'm just kind of like, I'm done. Like we had the Royal Flush Gang, now we have that, and we have the hotness. But from the trailer, I only watched the trailer once for next week's episode, but it looks like he's kind of changed. Like he's Barry trying to exonerate him or something.
The hotness.
Can we not call him the hotness? I hate that.
General hotness.
Sir Hotness. Yeah.
It was never called that. They just pulled that name out of their ass, like after the fact. Like,
yeah,
they never called that in season 4. I'm pretty sure. Anyway,
didn't he have a weird name that sounded like something else, but it was like a weird.
The money.
His name's Jaco Birch, which
Jaco. That's it. Yeah.
I know. Is Jaco an American sort of name?
I've never heard that name before ever in my entire life.
Someone tried to name the kid Jacob and forgot to put the B on the birth.
I actually wonder if that's what happened. Like when they wrote the character out, somebody just.
Well, his last name is Birch, so is it meant to be Jacob Birch? And then for some reason they just went Jaco Birch.
Maybe they just wanted to be edgy and just like misspell his name.
I know. I don't know. Maybe Ben, you might be onto something.
Maybe.
So Ben, you put Supergirl in the title. Is there news about Supergirl?
Oh no, I was just talking about the little flex. Little flex.
What's the flex? Oh,
I was watching this today, so I was talking about the deleted scene.
Let me see it. Is that a Blu-ray?
Yeah, Twitch is gonna be proud. Sadly, there's no 4K right now.
The folks will be buying the 4K, but you don't have a 4K player, so you're just wasting.
There's no 4K. I swear.
No, there isn't. Because it only airs in 1080p, I think, on TV anyway, so they can't release a 4K.
Yeah,
I think they only release 4Ks for HBO.
Ben wants it in 4K though. That's what he wants the whole thing.
Yeah, I watched it on the projector. It was big.
The big
4K. That was shite.
What was shite?
Supergirl season 6 was terrible, so you wouldn't want that in 4K. Maybe Supergirl season 4 or whatever it was. The Edge
4 would have been amazing in 4K, honestly.
4 and 4K.
Yeah, that would have been a good tagline, wouldn't it? 4 and 4K.
4 and 4K. Imagine Arrow season 4 and 4K.
Oh no, we don't want to imagine that.
Okay.
We could imagine Rain smacking down Supergirl in 4K. That might have been.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Is there any news on Melissa Benoist recently?
No, I think she was just doing some interviews recently. Nothing, no big news, sadly.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, like just in regards to the Flash, I guess that's most of the stuff. Wait, when's Superman and Lois coming back?
Next week.
March 3rd.
It's back for 2 weeks and then it goes on another break.
Does it really?
Why are they going on so many breaks?
Because they're behind. They started the season too early. They should have. You know what confuses me? They were so desperate, and it's a bit of a fail now. You know, I know it's easy leading into it. You don't know what the results are going to be, but clearly not worth it. The whole thing was to use Superman and Lois to pump up Naomi.
Mm-hmm.
It's just they're not connected. So just people aren't dumb. They're going to realize after the first week, okay, well, we got hashtag Ben clickbaited.
That was your video.
Eric Wallace put out a video. Oh, not a video. He did an interview and he said that they were meant to. It was originally meant to be January. Like they were planning for January mid-season premiere for Flash. So that's why the Bart and Nora episode is a New Year's episode because
yeah,
it's shortly after New Year's. But it's clear Superman and Lois was not ready to premiere.
Yeah.
Because now they're behind on episodes and they have to take breaks like season 1 did. And we know how much that killed season 1 in live stuff. And people were just like, I'm just going to wait till the end of the season to catch up. Just too many breaks. Now they're doing the exact same thing. So hopefully...
Wow, somebody asked Ben why he clickbaited this. Wow.
I think it's because I've got Keith, aka Goldface, and did you put Goldface interview exclusive? Because if that's the case, I have to admit I'm not Keith.
So Ben, during the after party, your name came up in the chat, and someone wanted to know why you referred to the Royal Flush Gang.
Oh no, I watched it. I watched your whole segment because someone in your comments wrote Ben said something stupid or something. But I went to it and I saw it and I was like,
so what? Can you walk me through that? What happened? What actually happened?
Okay, I'll walk you through it. So I was being stupid. That's what I was doing. It was 2 a.m. in the morning, and for some reason my mind thought that kings and queens and stuff like that was related to chess, but I'm stupid.
we were kind of baffled because I'm like, wait a minute, how did you?
I was baffled. I didn't even realize I said that.
Okay.
So, yeah, like
we got some exclusive news for the after party, though.
Yeah, that's true.
Some exclusive news coming to your stream for the first time.
What?
The after party is moving to Saturdays.
Oh, cool.
Oh, are we moving to Saturdays now?
Yeah, didn't we talk about that?
Yeah, but I thought it wasn't happening.
No,
party's moving to Saturdays.
We're gonna move to Saturdays, and it's gonna be an hour later. So yeah, that's what we talked about, Paige.
11 p.m.
Yeah, maybe we did. Maybe I forgot. I don't know.
Well, there's a couple like people that are asking why. It's because a lot of people complained that the after party on Fridays was either too early or not late enough. So it's a weird time block where people were complaining that they couldn't get home in time, or by the time they got home, they missed it. So we decided
tomorrow.
No, we're going to do it tomorrow, normal time, and then we will announce that the next week it's going to be moving to Saturdays.
Oh, good.
So Saturday, it'll be an hour later than Fridays. So it'll move from 5:30 New York time to 6:30 New York time.
New York.
But we're doing it on Saturdays because that should open up the space for more people to be available, because Fridays are also a hard time. Like I've asked people to join me on Fridays and they're like, I'm working at 5:30, or, I'm getting home and I want to spend time with my significant other, and I get it. So by doing it on Saturdays, it kind of opens it up a little bit for other people to watch. So,
by the way, Ben, when you're watching that Supergirl Blu-ray, how did you see it? It looked like you were watching it in the middle of the day and didn't close the blinds.
No, that's literally how I was watching it. And then
after
I took that video, I closed the blinds.
The camera's not picking it up properly.
Oh no!
After that video, I closed the blinds in my defense. Yeah. So cool. After party moving Saturdays exclusive here. So tomorrow it's still Friday.
Yeah, because we can't. I don't want to move it without telling people that it's
Mhm.
moving. So we'll do that tomorrow. So yeah, we're gonna do that because we may want to do game nights on Fridays.
Oh, edgy.
So
I
yeah.
thought
Also-
it was gonna happen tonight.
No, because Paigey's not available tonight. So
Mhm.
No, actually, I am now.
He's going gaming.
he's available now. He's got 2 quizzes ready.
No, because I was meant to have the plumber here, and they changed it till to early in the morning. So I went, I thought they were going to be longer. They ended up being here half an hour. They told me it was going to take 2 hours.
Oh,
Mhm.
Here for half
well,
an hour.
he's got 2 quizzes ready, and I'm getting ready to get. So I am going to sign up for that Quizizzle site, whatever it
Yeah.
is. The what?
I think it's Quizizzle, like
Yeah,
Quizzes.
yeah, Shinizzle. And I'm going to pay for premium, and then I'm going to share it with people that. So everybody will have access to the account, so we can make up quizzes to use during the after or not the after party during the game nights.
Mhm.
So hopefully by next week we'll have those set up. So
I'll tell you what, the plumber left a massive freaking mess on the floor in the bathroom. I didn't mop it up.
Did he take a dump on the floor?
Well, I'd have to test the toilet. I'm not too sure, but the floor was all wet. I was like, cleaned it up.
Every time a builder comes in or something, you have to use the toilet. It's a fact.
Well, only hit half an hour. I mean, God.
Yeah, no, like it's a fact. Like you come in, you got to take it. I swear, it's literally what always happens. But anyway, moving on. Talking about toilets.
Yeah, I know. They kept talking about it. It wasn't me. You gotta
what did you think about the Iris stinger at the end with the time
Yeah,
sickness?
Paigey.
I thought it was random because now we've had 2 in a row where Iris hasn't been in the episode really, and then they just put. So I'm like, is it just going to be a recurring theme? Is that like the
Mhm.
stinger is just a time travel thing? I would prefer if it was like maybe in the episode or something, like even in just the middle of the episode. Like I don't really like it when there's a consistent thing. That's usually what they would have done, like with a villain in previous seasons. Like I specifically remember like season 2 with Zoom.
Always teasers,
It might have
yeah.
been an episode, but then it'd be at the end or
And-
something.
Then when Eobard showed up, wow, that was
Yeah. So, but Iris is in next week's episode properly. So maybe they do it during the episode. But then again, they might just see it at the end if it doesn't really work in. I'm not too sure.
So didn't Eric say the time sickness was going to go throughout the whole season though? Like we're going to
It
see
was in the
this.
back half, but I don't know. Technically, are we in the back half?
I don't know. I think we're in the middle. I
Right.
consider the middle.
He says it starts in the middle graphic novel, so from
Well, that's now.
next week.
So I think this week's upcoming episode, even though it looks filler because you got I Want My Money,
The hotness.
I'm sure that's the beginning of the next graphic novel.
Yeah, I wasn't sure. Like I was 50-50.
half.
Yeah.
But I can't believe Hartley Sawyer's coming back. That's going to be wild.
Yeah, that was the edgy news of the day. Is that why you're wearing the beanie?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because apparently he apologized and Discovery's going to hire him to come back. Look at Ben looking it up.
No, I honestly
Looking it up.
was like double checking. Like, huh? Did I miss
He's
anything?
coming back in an episode where Dean Kane's reprising his multi.
Oh,
okay.
yeah.
And Kevin Sorbo.
Yeah.
from Supergirl.
But
And it's directed by Andrew Kreisberg, so it's all coming full
wow.
circle. So.
That's edgy. Who's going to be the guest star in the episode? Yeah.
Ezra Miller and
Ezra Miller.
yeah, he's gonna be the
I
guest
didn't
star.
that
Written
dude-
by J.K. Rowling or something like that.
Didn't
Link-
the guy who played what's his name, the wrestler?
What?
Didn't he get in trouble?
John Cena?
from
No.
Arrow?
No, he was in season 5 of Flash when Barry goes to jail. Oh, what's his
I
name?
don't-
It's my tongue. He's like a famous wrestler.
The Rock?
I can't remember his name. I think he got in trouble or something like that. I can't remember. No, it's not The Rock. Oh God, it's Oh, I can't remember what his name is. It's on tip of my tongue. Anyway, whatever. I think he got in trouble, so maybe he can come back in that episode as well. Goldberg. It was Goldberg. That's right, Goldberg.
What did he get in trouble for?
I know. I think he got in trouble. I saw something on
Big Sir.
Twitter about it. Yeah, because he did the Flash because his son watched it or something like that. No, Edge was in season 2. He was Adam Smasher. Actually,
Oh yeah, the guy
He's
in
a good
prison
thing.
with Barry. Yeah.
Who do you think is going to be the better Atom Smasher? Which version?
No one sends Neo as a random choice. But...
Oh my god, yeah, that is such a weird choice. I don't know.
I would have liked Ben as Adam Smasher.
Oh yeah.
But then people might have been calling bias because it's like, hold on, this person's clearly related to Patty Jenkins. That's why they got the role. So maybe that's.
I actually think Ben should be playing like the sibling of Amunet Black and do a lot of scenes with her, Katie Sackhoff.
Well, Ben does have a similar accent.
Oh yeah, like exactly the same. She's the best.
Yeah. Don't you call your auntie Amy Whammy?
Yeah. How did you know? Have you been listening?
Did you have your bangers and mash today? Did you have that earlier? So
it wouldn't have been as bad. They didn't say
bangers.
Breakfast. I don't know why they said breakfast. Who has bangers and mash for breakfast?
Exactly. I was like, okay, tell me you're not English by saying some weird shit.
Yeah.
Like bangers and that's literally sausage and mash for breakfast.
I had bangers and mash the other day for dinner. Delicious.
I never liked it anyway. So
yeah, it's because you're vegan.
I'm saying of all time.
How's that vegan lifestyle going, by the way?
It's pretty good. Pretty easy. Yeah, it's really easy in London. It would be hard in other places. Even LA. LA was really bad.
It's really hard to do that here. Like you can't go anywhere and get vegan stuff. You have to actually make it all yourself.
I swear the only place in LA is Whole Foods. I swear. Yeah. It's not even a cliche. Like it's the truth. Yeah, anyway. Yeah, it's pretty good. But anyway, so
what is in your notes? Anything in your notes? Anything in your notes? How'd you feel about Naomi? Are you happy with Naomi?
I haven't watched it yet. I haven't watched it yet still. So
just curious. You should give it a I am actually I mean that
liking it now?
No. I'm asking sincerely because I honestly think you would like Naomi. Like I don't really like it, but I think you might actually like it. So I'm
actually
curious.
Gonna give it a go. I'm gonna give it a go because
it's only about 5 episodes in, so it wouldn't take much to get
7.
caught up.
So, whatever Superman and Lois is on, Naomi's on.
Oh wait, it's taking the same breaks as Superman and Lois then?
It's just on the same episode thing. It might not take that break because they're only on a break today, like this week because of March Madness.
Oh, okay.
But they had the Flash anyway.
Well, I'm gonna see what were the Flash ratings last night. Just curious on their overnight ratings. I know they don't totally count, but
you might get a retweet from John Wesley Shipp if you tweet out anything about it.
I'm not gonna tweet anything by that. All right, let's see. Last night. Ooh. 0.12 demo with a almost 15% down demo change.
Mm-hmm.
And it was actually down from last week's episode in live viewing.
Okay, wait. I have a question for you guys. Do you actually think, we talked about this earlier, but do you think the interlude episodes are a good idea? So my main thing is, I get the idea it's supposed to be a break. However, you know how people in the past got really mad anytime there was a filler episode? Well, those filler episodes were like one at a time. But with the interlude,
I don't like them back to back to back. No,
yeah, we know we're going to get back to back to back. So people are less interested, right?
Yes, because we know ahead of time. That's one of the big problems with saying the interlude episodes are up next, because then people are going to be like, well, I can just skip the interlude and catch up because anything that happens in the interlude will be referenced when the episodes go back to their normal episodes. Like there's not much that we're going to miss in the interlude that we can't figure out. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I don't know if it hurts it or not. I mean, you might be right, but I definitely don't like back to back to back interlude episodes.
Yeah, I agree. Paigey, what do you think?
I know it might be controversial. I sort of don't mind them just doing them in a row, as long as it's not 4 or 5 in a row. Like if these two, because as I said, I think next week's episode is the start of the graphic novel. The thing that gets me concerned about this season is that thing from Eric Wallace where he said that like episodes 15, 16, 17 are also interlude episodes, but we're only led to believe there's 18 episodes this season.
Yeah.
So there's 3 interlude episodes leading into the finale. But then Daniel Panabaker said there was 15 episodes left after episode 5, which means 20 episodes.
Oh.
So they got upgraded or not? Because I know Riverdale did. Riverdale got up to 22 episodes for this season. They were
Oh
only
wow.
Oh wow.
So I wonder if the Flash got a 2 episode or maybe even more episode upgrade as well.
I mean, I'm down for more episodes because I liked it in the past when they had loads.
The
of
reason
episodes.
I'm up down, I thought
I'm
18
down.
was fine, but the reason I'm fine with it is if
Mhm.
15, 16, 17 are interlude episodes, because they're already going to have 1 episode finale. Like that just seems.
I don't like the idea of leading into the finale with interlude episodes.
Yeah.
That's my
why I'm
biggest issue.
hoping. That's why I'm hoping it does get that at least 2 episode upgrade. So maybe the interlude episode has some context, and then those final 3 episodes are bang, bang, bang that build off stuff from the interlude and previous parts in the season as well.
Yeah. Actually, Aravasine said something earlier about maybe Eric Wallace meaning that there was like 3 special episodes and they just directed it. But the impression I got was the same as you, Paigey, actually. I thought he was saying there was 3 more interludes to come.
Yeah, well, he says interlude. He uses the term interlude.
Yeah. So I'm pretty sure. And well, if Daniel actually said that there's 15.
We'll know pretty soon because Daniel Panabaker is directing episode 17.
Mhm.
So if they're still filming in 2 to 3 weeks,
Yeah.
they're going past 18. So,
Yeah.
and obviously when they announce like the thing starts, if something else pops up there, we know they're going past 18.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. We have a super chat here from Mike Glenn who says, rather have fillers than long breaks. Well, yeah. I don't think anyone likes long breaks, right? Like that last long break was bad. But also I think Mike means in terms of, maybe 3 interludes back to back or 2 or yeah, I agree. Like I prefer fillers, but that's just my opinion.
I will say Kook in the chat says I thought this interlude was a lot better than last year's. I agree with that. I think these 2 have been
What
better
was last
episodes.
year's one again?
The Cecile episode, the Allegra episode with Ultraviolet.
The first
and-
one was the Cisco goodbye episode.
But that
Yeah.
was a really good episode.
Right. So here's the deal. The Cisco goodbye episode, I know that's interlude, but I still feel like that's not a normal interlude episode.
It's
that
not
was
a normal one. It's like way above.
Yeah, so for me, I would consider like the Cecile and the Allegra episodes to be true filler episodes.
Yeah, they
And
weren't good.
They were bad. Both of
Yeah.
those were bad. These are definitely better than those. I will agree with that.
Yeah, I think I agree.
I
Actually.
would rather watch Nora and Bart together a million
Oh,
times
no, me
before I go
too.
back and watch Allegra and Ultraviolet or
No, I
Cecile
was just
episode.
questioning this episode because I much preferred last week than this week. Like after this week, like we said before, I kind of was like, what can I talk about apart from like Iris and like maybe Barry and Kramer having that?
There
last
wasn't a
one?
lot to discuss in this episode unless you just wanted to super dive into it. And
Yeah.
I feel like the main things were the building up to Kramer, obviously finding out about Barry's identity and being trained by Barry, and the stuff with Iris. Everything else I feel like was just kind of throwaway filler, honestly.
Yeah.
So are we not doing the game night tonight?
Well, I hadn't planned on it because I thought you were busy. So
Mm,
that was the only thing.
I think we should do it because I think if Eric loses or wins, it should be a punishment because I don't think it would turn out that well. If Eric loses a quiz, he has to do a gritty.
he has to do a what?
A gritty.
What's that?
Eric can look it up in practice before he knowingly loses and has to do it on stream.
The problem is, though, it's going to be so late, Ben can't come back later to do it because it's already late there, isn't it?
Well, if we do it and I do like one quiz, that should be fine.
Because I mean,
What if we do a rotating cast?
well, that's the thing is I haven't asked. I don't have anybody set up to do it because I didn't think we were doing it tonight. So
I can do it if you are doing it today.
Yeah, but just one thing is not worth doing a whole game stream. I don't think that's the problem.
Okay.
Um,
Or maybe come out with another day and
I mean, I would love to do it, but I honestly, there were several people that I wanted to have on, but when I thought you were busy, Paigey, I just told everybody not to worry about
Yeah,
it. So,
I thought I was going to be, and then
Do you want to do, instead of a game night, why don't we do a Twitter thingy tonight? Like what is it called? Twitter Spaces. We could do one of those tonight.
Yeah, okay.
Twitter Spaces.
I mean, I'm good with that. And then on the Twitter Spaces, we can tell people that we're going to do the game night next Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
Is that good with everybody?
Yeah. No, next Thursday works. It's actually good if it's like after my stream.
Well, that's what I mean. We could start it like when you're done. We could take like a 15-minute break and then start the game.
That actually really works for me. Like,
okay.
Do you have a whiteboard, Ben?
Yeah, literally. I have one here, but it's kind of like a schedule. But I can rub it off and use it as a whiteboard, you know.
Wow, he has a whiteboard finally.
Yeah, that'll work good.
I actually got it like.
I don't have a notebook, but I was gonna like show you how Ben would do it before because it was like the thinnest pencil ever.
I have
on the whitest paper.
No, I write. I don't know about you guys. Do you write notes or do you type notes?
I type notes on my phone.
Notes.
I type on my Mac.
I just go on my phone and put notes in my phone and then turn it into like a thing on my computer.
Yeah, this is how I do it. I'm old fashioned.
So if they do another, if this new Supergirl gets like a HBO Max show or whatever, are you going to be all about it, Ben, or are you just not going to talk about it at all?
Hell yes.
So you'll be okay with the new Supergirl from The Flash getting like a TV show?
Yeah, I would.
Okay.
Like, I'm down for any Supergirl. I'm a Supergirl fan.
Isn't it weird that we live in a period in time where you can go, okay, there's going to be this movie, but if this character does good, they could probably get a spinoff show? Like, that's weird to say that, but like cool, TV shows are getting so much better that it makes sense to do that.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree with this 100%.
This episode gave people Barry the leader.
Yeah, that was the one thing that I loved about it was that Barry was actually the focus and he wasn't
smart, like you said.
Think about how he's been like in last season compared to right now in this episode. Like in this episode, he was competent. We got that early on in last season, and then it kind of went downhill. So they need to continue with this Barry. This needs to be the Barry that goes on through the rest of the season. No more idiot stuff.
Yeah.
No more idiot stuff.
Yeah, no more idiot stuff. No more bangers and mash for breakfast.
No more bangers and mash in London town. I absolutely hate it when they say London town. That's the worst thing.
Eric,
was it?
Did you start?
No one says London town. It's just fucking city.
I thought they did say London town.
No, you say London. You don't say London town. It's not even a town.
You say London.
Nah, mate. We say London. Anyway, thanks, Mike. Okay.
I've heard a rumor that Melissa is going to be in the Flash movie.
I've heard a rumor that that's a crock of shit.
I heard a rumor that Paige's going to be in the Flash film.
Oh, that might be true.
That's
I've heard
true.
a rumor that going to be in the Flash season 9 as Iris's love affair.
Oh.
So I heard that we're going to see Supergirl versus Supergirl in the Flash movie. Melissa versus
no way.
the new Supergirl.
You know what I heard? I heard that Eric is going to be doing a little cameo in Legends of Tomorrow.
Oh, that will never happen.
He's already signed up, guys. He just can't tell you.
That will never happen.
He's one of the aliens.
Wouldn't I say that Barry leveled up? I would not say that because we're no longer saying that. That is not a thing that we say. Yeah. Just like Bye Felicia died like 7 years ago, and the fact they used it as a joke in this week's episode was ridiculous.
Yeah, anyway, it's freaking crazy. I can't believe he's leveled up again. All right, so I think that pretty much does it for the live
Ben, are you going to join us on a Twitter space one day?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Just let me know when, where. Well, obviously I know where. But yeah, so I think that does it for this live showing up. Yeah, I got a notification. I'm a big fan. Okay, look, I've got it on my phone.
That's more clickbaity than Ben. that trumps it. That's like
I recorded the review in my normal hat and stuff.
Okay, so yeah, we'll catch you guys later.